Think of an example of bullying. The first things that may come to mind are examples of humiliation, physical shoving, name-calling, intimidation, hostility, and deceit. Where did you pull this example from? Is it based off a movie or television show you saw about children in school, maybe college kids? Or it could have been a story in the news. What about workplace bullying? Did this come to mind? Bullying in the workplace is not unlike the bullying examples you may have initially thought of. It covers the behaviors we described, but also behaviors that are focused on any repeated offensive or unwelcome behavior that mistreats another at work can be considered workplace bullying, such as undermining another's performance or performance sabotage. And because workplace bullying is specific to events, inside or outside the workplace, where work-related interactions occur, it creates a psychological power imbalance between the bully and the target, and can take place over time, with many bullying behaviors being exhibited instead of one huge event. So what exactly is bullying? The Healthy Workplace Bill defined workplace bullying as repeated, health-harming mistreatment of one or more persons by one or more perpetrators. Abusive conduct that takes one or more of the following forms: verbal abuse or threatening, intimidating, or humiliating behaviors, including nonverbal, or work interference, such as sabotage, which prevents work from getting done, or some combination of one or more. Closely related to workplace bullying is abusive conduct. The California's Fair Employment and Housing Act, also referred to as FEHA, defines abusive conduct as conduct of an employer or employee in the workplace with malice that a reasonable person would find hostile, offensive, and unrelated to the employer's legitimate business interests. Abusive conduct may include repeated infliction of verbal abuse, such as the use of derogatory remarks, insults, and epithets. Verbal or physical conduct that a reasonable person would find threatening, intimidating, or humiliating. Physical conduct including unwanted touching, pushing or shoving, displaying threatening gestures, and violating another's personal space. It can include gratuitous sabotage or undermining a person's work performance. For example, friendly and humorous-spirited trash-talking between two competing teams is not considered abusive conduct. However, if this behavior becomes repetitive and unwelcomed, then it can be. Supervisors demeaning their subordinates, such as calling them weak and useless, in order to elicit better performance, is also considered abusive conduct. In some cases, a single act of one of these behaviors may not constitute abusive conduct. However, it would in a case where it was especially severe and egregious. To see an example of abusive conduct, click the icon. Car salesmen are reaching the end of this quarter's sales quota. Matt and Cole are both close to reaching their sales goal. In fact, they are one car sale away from being this quarter's top salesperson, which means a significant bonus payout. Throughout the week, Matt and Cole engage in a friendly banter to express their motivation to beating out the other. For example, Cole jokes that he has nothing to worry about given his sales technique is far superior to Matt's. This is not abusive conduct because it is on a friendly basis and is not unwelcomed by Matt. As the week ends, Matt becomes anxious to beat out Cole in selling the next car. He decides to do whatever it takes to ensure he gets the next sale, including intimidating a newly hired salesperson to call in sick for the rest of the week and shoving another salesperson to the ground in order to reach a customer first. Matt's behavior is considered abusive conduct. Like we mentioned before, when we talk about bullying, we can come up with examples of bullying in school or from movies. But when we start to explore the actions of bullying in the workplace, we can categorize bullying behaviors into 4 different categories: physical, verbal, social, and cyberbullying. Let's take a look at some examples of the 4 types of bullying. Simon has just started his first job out of college at a sales company. He has been trying to get off to a good start, but is struggling to handle the frat house culture of the business. Every week, sometimes multiple times per week, his coworkers take a wheel off of his chair when he's away from his desk. Sometimes he catches himself before he falls, but other times he wipes out in front of all of his laughing coworkers. This is a perfect example of physical bullying. Can occur when someone intentionally makes contact with another in a way that hurts them, such as tripping, pinching, or shoving. It can also occur when someone intentionally causes damage to someone's property. This can begin to cause short and long-term damage and can affect others that witness it. Emmanuel is a Costa Rican waiter at a mom-and-pop restaurant. He loves his job and makes great tips from his customers. But he has to deal with his store manager, Julia. Julia is always talking behind Emmanuel's back about Mexican immigration and how she wishes people like Emmanuel wouldn't be allowed to take American jobs. She has called Emmanuel Mexican many times, and even though he continually corrects her, she continues. It has gotten so bad that Julia has gotten some of her other coworkers calling Emmanuel Mexican as well. Example of verbal bullying. Verbal bullying can include direct insults, verbal abuse, intimidation, and homophobic and racist remarks. Just like we saw in the example, Julia was making direct remarks. However, in some cases, verbal bullying can start off innocent and escalate to levels which start affecting the individual. For example, teasing may not seem like it's hurtful, but it can have a negative effect on the person at the other end. Lauren had just gone through a lengthy divorce and was forced to miss a day to meet with lawyers. She told her manager what was happening and was able to get everything finalized and get back to work that next day. A few weeks later, a friend confronted her and mentioned that everyone in the office was talking about how she had gotten a divorce because she had cheated on her husband with a coworker. The rumor had gotten so out of hand that she overheard one of her coworkers calling her a homewrecker. Bullying is something you may not even be aware of, and it can be difficult to recognize. Just like in this example, it can take place behind the bullied person's back. It is meant to harm someone's social reputation and/or cause humiliation. Lying and spreading rumors are one type of social bullying. But even the way you react to someone can influence someone's social acceptance at work. Krish is a barista at a trendy, hipster coffee shop. The coffee shop frequently takes pictures of their baristas and uses them as images for their special event posts on their social media accounts. Krish was looking through the coffee shop's social media account when he saw some of the comments from customers making disparaging remarks about his looks and his ethnicity. Is an example of cyberbullying. As social media within our personal lives and corporate lives has grown over the years, cyberbullying has become a method to use technology to attack another person. While this type of bullying is not done in person, posting comments about someone or to someone through email, text message, or chat on personal or company sites has serious implications and is just as hurtful as saying it in person. If you are unsure if you are being bullied or witnessing bullying, reach out to your supervisor or human resources department. We all play a role in recognizing, preventing, and stopping bullying.